The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. Doesn't matter what day it is, if it's a Tuesday evening, if it's a Sunday, if it's a Monday, it just doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter the day of the week. All that matters is you always treat a lady with respect, even the lady in black. Darlington Raceway, as we get ready to go racing here tonight for 80 laps of racing on the track Too Tough to Tame. That is where we are tonight. Race number 8 of this iRacing Gen 4 series. 1.366 mile egg-shaped oval that has produced some of the best races in history of NASCAR, from the always talked about 03 race with Craven and Busch to the race that actually happened the day after that nobody remembers. Jamie McMurray edging out Todd Bodine at the line in the Nationwide or Busch Series or Xfinity Series, whatever you want to call it, race. Happened the exact next day because the race was rained out on Saturday. Either way, Darlington produces great history. And tonight, we could see more history as we race at the Lady in Black here. It's race number 8 of this iRacing series. As mentioned, I'm the captain. Hopefully you've enjoyed your week. Of course, haven't been really on the air outside of racing since last Wednesday, so hopefully you enjoyed your Memorial Day. And I have to admit, I always feel weird saying that, because when you think about it, it allows us to have our time with our families on Memorial Day weekend. But when it's all over with, we think about it, and we think about those who allow us to have that moment with our families, right? That's what Memorial Day is all about, is honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice for us to be able to do what we do. So hopefully you did enjoy your time with your family. And now it's back to the track here as we get back into a roll and get ready for a lot of racing here this week on the Captain Esports Network. Got a lot of special events coming up here throughout the week, and so much more that we're going to talk about here over the next little bit or so. And, of course, tomorrow, along with tonight, league racing. And then with that, obviously, some other stuff coming up here throughout. As qualifying has begun, Josh Dillon and Daniel Drew, the first two to put up laps here. Of course, we do have the 8X weather in play here, which means that the weather is going to go to nighttime very quickly, as Casey Carrington on track has swapped his number back to 37, running the David Green paint scheme here at Darlington. I guess it'd be kind of be a throwback to last season when he won the championship in this paint. As Carrington crosses the line and should go to the top 30-25. He was one of the fastest cars in practice, but not the fastest. There are a couple cars we're going to watch here. There's only 5 have run laps so far. So we're going to have probably a few cars that aren't going to run qualifying. Then I think as we get into the next minute or so, you're really going to start to see the guys come out here and run their lap. I know we saw 29s in practice. Not sure how much draft played a role in that. But we shall see here. So 3 races left here in the regular season. Darlington tonight, the Milwaukee Mile next week, and in Talladega Superspeedway. The last 2 weeks of this season schedule here is Carrington, I think, is just out there putting laps down now. And as I mentioned, here come some of the cars out on track to get the qualifying in as it cools down here. Let's take a peek really quickly here as these guys get up to speed at the weather. It is 83 degrees right now, 41% humidity. Let me put the other weather link up because here we go. Well, I don't know. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, so track actually might warm up a little bit here before this lap's complete. '83 ambient, 121 track temp. So, we'll have to see how this goes. This track might actually slow down for these guys, which, with it being this later in the afternoon, I probably would have went out early. But that's just me. It's the reason why I'm in the booth and don't really race much anymore, because yikes. All right, last week's winner, Colby Wells here from Bristol. Brings his Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Charger off of turn number 4 to the line. Looks pretty good. Car looks pretty smooth. And Wells goes to the top, 30.24. So, obviously, Colby shutting me up as always. Let's check out the Budweiser throwback here of Kyle Ethier. Ethier went purple there at the last second. I saw that 30.15 as he's on the pole now. And Colby's back in the green to see if he can return favor here as he crosses the line and does not. He is still P2 with a 30.27 there on his second lap. Here's AB, the winner from Pocono. And runs out of time as he goes to cross the line. That's never good. So qualifying over with Kyle Ethier on the pole, and we go trackside for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. 16 cars gridded up, ready to go, racing for 80 laps here tonight as we take a look at the starting lineup. Kyle Ethier on the pole, 30.15. Puts that 8-car P1 alongside Colby Wells, the winner from Bristol. Casey Carrington, Josh Dillon, row number 2. Dylan Rosenberg and Alex Bryson there in row number 3. Craig Martin, Dylan Giroux in row 4. Row 5, Stephen Melnick and Clement Downing with a good qualifying effort. 9th and 10th, and those are the last cars that actually ran laps in qualifying. The rest of these guys either messed up their qualifying laps or chose not to run a lap. Miles and Dean, Eurykio, Lewis, Beaver, Russo, and the 16 cars there. Of course, they set up the grid for those who don't qualify by your iRating. In case you didn't know that. 80 laps tonight, 83 degrees, 42% humidity under cloudy skies, 9-mile-an-hour winds, 50% fuel, and of course 3 sets of tires to get you through this race. However, as I look at the lap numbers and stuff like that, I necessarily don't think that you're going to need to really double stint tires or anything here tonight. I think that you're going to be good to go to the finish on just the tires that you have for the race. We'll see, though. As the green flag waves from Darlington as cars spin the tires, and Colby Wells fires them off into turn 1. And Lewis with issues already on the back stretch. Or on the front stretch. No caution. I promise you, no caution. We stay green as they race down the back straightaway. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com as Colby Wells leads lap 1. Carrington, Dillon, Bryson, your top 5. On a track that it's all about saving those tires and not getting a Darlington stripe. And if you're Craig Martin, not dropping a bottle of water out on the inside of the track. Oh, he's in the wall hard. That's a stripe. He keeps it up there. Good move on his part, and then pulls right down in front of Beaver and gets wrecked. Caution coming out. And the madness begins. Big break for Mr. Lewis there, who will sort himself back onto the pack there and not be a lap down. Let's go back to the start of the race here and see what happened to Mr. Lewis. As he had some issues here at the start. Let's see. Oh, you can see the wheel spin. He's spinning tires and then checks up. Almost runs over Dean and then gets ran over and sent into the inside wall. That happens. And then Craig Martin has all kinds of issues. First, it looks like he dropped his burrito or something. Then he goes into turn 3. Sticks himself up in the wall. Keeps himself okay. And then all of a sudden, right in front of Beaver, who gets in the back. And I think Beaver actually, no, he didn't actually. I thought might have went for a ride there. But a lot of cars on pit road here early. Topping off the fuel cell. And one of those cars that did not pit, and we'll have a chat with him here really quickly, is the driver of the Budweiser number 8. Here he is in the Dale car. Let's talk to Mr. Ethier, who won the pole here tonight for the race here. Kyle, hello, sir.
What's up?
Not much, man. Congrats on the pole there, laying down that lap. I was a little worried, to be honest, because I'm like, man, these guys are going out later, and it's actually heating up on the track, but yet you guys were able to still drop down a low 30.
On mine, it dropped about 5 degrees from when it started and I went out.
Must have had a cloud then. Huh.
I felt like the longer you waited, the better it was going to be. And then it just so happened it was kind of cloudy on my lap, so.
You got the old cloud. Nothing wrong with that.
I did.
Well, obviously spinning the tires on the start, which is going to obviously cause some issues here because the tire wear drops very quickly, and tire spin's going to be really big in this car.
Yeah, I didn't mind it that much. Reminded me that it was still light out because it's going to get grippy as this thing goes on. I think it's already getting pretty dark, but it kind of worked out because I just want to fall in and kind of ride in the just kind of ride in line, save my stuff a little. So I'm not worried. I feel like pretty fast today. The old who's this? This is a Ralph Earnhardt throwback.
It is a Ralph Earnhardt
Budweiser throwback here. Figured we break it out for Darlington, and I don't know, just want to have a decent finish. I've been struggling the last few weeks, so was hoping to get back in the interview column so I could hear your beautiful voice.
Oh, come on now.
Oh.
Come on now. Hey, throw it back to your last win and go to victory lane.
Will do, buddy.
All right, buddy. Good job. As Conley wins a pole here, and we'll send him back to his channel as he will restart P2 behind this guy right here in the 45. So it looks like Alex Bryson came to pit road. Steve Melnick, Dylan Rosenberg all took fuel. I think he had some other cars go and get damage fixed. And that's where we sit as we get ready to come back to the green here. Lap number 6 of 80 here at the old Lady in Black. The track too tough to tame as Colby Wells goes blinking and goes to the restart here. And all of a sudden, Kyle Ethier's your leader. And Colby Wells is gone. And Colby Wells is back all of a sudden in the lead. Well then. Don't ask me what happened. I got nothing on that one. Whoa, Dylan, hold on. Dylan gets loose. Carrington goes by. Dylan in the old UPS number 88 car that Dale Jarrett, of course, drove back in the early 2000s. Back here, Melnick, who's in a Hartford Whalers number 1 car. And he's going to get leaned on by Rosenberg. Of course, the old Hartford Whalers out of Connecticut. I'm trying to remember where they went back. Oh, no! Oh, argy bargy there. Melnick into the wall there. Got a little contact from Dean. And still finds a way to only lose 1 spot. That's unique. See, I'm trying to remember my hockey knowledge. Isn't the best, by the way, as Casey Carrington moves up to 2nd. Hartford Whalers went to Canada. Did they not go back to being the Winnipeg Jets or the Calgary? No, Calgary's always been there. It's the Winnipeg Jets, if I remember correctly. Where's Telder? Of course, the one night I need Telder to show up and help me with hockey, he's gone. Not here. Emma. He's MIA. Field spreading out. Let's go back here to Stephen Miles, Stephen Melnick, the 1 in the 24 here. In the turn 1, Melnick's going to drive it in there pretty deep. This is not how you Darlington right here. As Miles clears him, but Melnick going to drive him hard. As Russo knocking down the wall. Darlington and then Miles into the wall now. All about give and take at this track if you're going to survive a race as Eurykio gets turned. In order to survive Darlington, you got to give and take. This is just simple. Miles got up in the wall and just unfortunately he and Eurykio were just close together there, and classy move on Miles' part. I'll give him the credit here. He watch what he does here. He gets in the side of Eurykio, realizes, hey, my bad, I did bad on this. Locks it down and literally lets Eurykio catch it. I mean, he could have easily driven around him or whatever at that moment, but he just slowed up and let Eurykio catch it, and he got T-boned by Lewis, but that's a Darlington wreck right there. Miles going to make the mistake here. Just drives it a little too deep into 3, almost a little too high into the corner there. Gets into the wall, gets it off the wall, about hits Melnick, but you see right here, Eurykio is actually coming up the track too at the same time. That's just racing, is what that is. as every car is on pit road now. Race off pit road, those taking fuel only going to come out. Bryson first, Wells, Dylan. And you're seeing some guys take tires here early. Appreciate the viewers hanging out here tonight. Those who are here, hello to you. Cheers. Hopefully you're having a good week so far. Make sure you tell your friends and family about the Captain Esports Network. Of course, I talked a little bit ago about some special events coming up this week. Of course, broadcast here tonight for a league race. Tomorrow night, league race also. And then Thursday night is where the fun begins. Of course, on iRacing this week, it is the week of the Indy 500 after the wild race last week at the Art of Bricks. The iRacing edition of it. Of course, I've already run one myself in a hosted league race. Finished, I don't even remember where I finished, third. Should have won the thing on fuel, but that's another story for another day. But Thursday night, have a league that is bringing us in to broadcast their Indy 500 race. Full 500 miles and everything. That's coming up Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. But we'll have that Thursday night. I'm just inviting you to come join the stream. And then on the iRacing side, I mentioned it to iRacing, and a buddy of mine that works at iRacing is supposed to reach out and get that all taken care of, but I'm still going to probably do the race anyways. 2 events coming up Friday and Sunday. 2 of the iRacing Indy 500s. I'm going to broadcast the top split of those races Friday night and then Sunday afternoon. As we go back racing here from Darlington, you are going to see a whole lot of Indianapolis coming up starting Thursday night, as a whole lot of people spinning tires back here. As Alex Bryson leads Colby Wells, Christopher Dean, Josh Dillon, Stephen Miles, your top 5 as Lewis about knocks the wall down. 3 wide as Kyle Ethier drives it down to Florence to make sure he doesn't get involved in a wreck. Bryson's been looking pretty sporty, and so is Colby Wells, who's showing that speed once again tonight in that 45 car. Dean looking pretty good on this 1.366 mile D-shaped oval, but Dean always looks good on an old style track, on a worn out surface. It is the Dean machine that usually shows up. And here he is looking pretty sporty, 3rd position right now. Wells gets a little too high there through 2, had to get out of the gas there, or else he'd have knocked the wall down. A certain groove you want to follow around this track. Put it right up against the outside wall without that part. Do not Darlington stripe it. As Dylan losing spots again down the front straightaway here. Looks like he lost the back end as Kyle Ethier just ran the fastest lap of the race and went past Miles for 6th. Ethier, one of the few that took tires on that stop, and then Casey Carrington also did. Already quarter distance in. Just the 2 cautions here so far. As I was saying before the restart, though, 2 iRacing Indy 500s, 1 fixed, 1 hosted. or one fixed, one open setup that will be broadcasted here, top split, on the Captain Esports Network. I know qualifying, I believe, has begun, if not tomorrow, for that. And looking forward to also running in it coming up on Saturday afternoon, if everything goes well. The 5 p.m. split should be home by then. Kyle Ethier inside of Giroux in the 92. Drew going to give up the spot, and I think he also scraped the wall going in turn one. I guess another way of braking. Just kind of scrape the wall up and let it slow you down. As Carrington running the fastest lap of the race and about knocking the wall down. Dean has hit the wall off turn two. As Giroux goes flying past Dean for position. So these cars starting to handle poorly as track's going to start to grip up a little bit here, of course, as we go into the nighttime. If you know the car and can handle just the way it drives in a pack and out in the open and stuff like that, and have all the buttons set up and stuff for the jacker and things like that, then if you got that kind of knowledge and feel like you can do it, do it. But just know the car looks easy driving it, but it's not as easy as you think. As we have a battle for the lead as Aaron Beaver comes to pit road, unscheduled stop for the 97. As Carrington to the inside and past Bryson for the lead. So lap 24, and that 37 car has gone to the front. Bryson back to second with Colby Wells right there in third. Ethier 2.5 seconds back now of the leaders, so you wonder if he's either burned his tires up already or might be kind of sitting back here a little bit. Daniel Drew having a great run there in the top 5. These guys pitted at lap 30. Somebody's down the apron. Is that Dylan down there having issues again? And that UPS truck's been pancaked. And now he's running the 1950 Southern 500 line. The reason why this track was built originally was for that bottom groove right there where he's running. That was supposed to be the original track. But when geniuses became geniuses and decided, hey, wait a minute, more banking up there means I could be faster, they were like, haha. Well, they all started running the top of the track. Where the top of the track was originally supposed to be for slower cars to just stay out of the way. It's kind of funny if you go into the NASCAR Classic races and watch like the 1950 Southern 500 or 51 races and stuff. If you watch closely, you notice on pit road, there is no inside wall. Like, the wall is literally pit road. And cars had to, there wasn't even going down pit road. It was literally hang a left and go over to your pit stall and turn left and go to it. Off of the front straightaway. I found the most unique, by the way. As Rosenberg, Uricchio running 8th and 9th right here. Craig Martin about 2.4 seconds back there in the 10th position. Everybody's pretty spread out now. This is the point of the race. Just race the racetrack. As Bryson falls into the clutches of Colby Wells, you see Ethier kind of catching up there from behind. You see lap times have already fallen off a good 2 seconds from the pace. Oh, the biggest issue they will have at Darlington is right here Give it a few minutes. That sun's going to get lower and lower, and for about a couple laps, they're going to have the sun right in their eyes going into turn 3. They might get lucky with those clouds, but you never know. As Ethier's gone by Colby Wells for 3rd. All right, Rosenberg comes to pit road, lap 31. So does Chris Lewis at 31. That's very early for those two. And there goes Ethier to 2nd. Bryson, ooh, kind of scraped the wall up there a little bit. This car can take a beating, though. No big deal. Carries on. I think Josh Dillon is still down there running. That's not Dillon. That is Clement Downing, who's down there running the old school Darlington groove. There's your leader, Carrington. He's got that much. On Kyle Ethier is now 2nd. There's Bryson 3rd. Colby Wells, who runs. Oh, he gets into Lewis there. Something happened. Somebody didn't communicate here. What in the world is going on here? What we have is failure to communicate. Googly moogly. I did see the news. It's sad. I kind of knew it was coming. I heard it was coming. I've got a lot I could share about it. I mean, I've talked in the yeah, it was just, I mean, miscommunication there, and oh, okay. Did something happen between Dean and Dylan, apparently? Long story short, when you stop putting your eggs in a basket of a certain hobby or job or whatever, it's going to fall apart. And when Tony Stewart put all of his eggs in a basket for pretty much the NHRA team, as you see Miles go past Giroux for 4th, that basically was the end. I mean, and this is what it's come down to now, so it's unfortunate. I think I know where the drivers are going to end up. I have a feeling on it all, but we'll see. As Colby Wells and Giroux come to pit road here in lap 37, so actually this is going to turn out to be a lot more stops than I thought. For some reason, I thought you could go probably 30 laps, but apparently not. Yeah, they released the news earlier today. More tires and fuel for Wells and for Russo, or I'm sorry, for Giroux. All right, let's see if I can find it. I think it's going to be somewhere in here. Let's go back and see if I can find the Josh Dillon deal. Okay, so there's Dean. Back up a little bit more here. leaders are on pit road, and, well, Dylan's still back there behind them, so I don't know. I have to keep looking for it. If you know what lap it was, Josh, let me know. I'll go find it and show a replay of it. As Ethier, Carrington, Dean, Eureka all on pit road, handing the lead to Steve Melnick. Yeah. I think Barry's going to be okay, though. I think Barry's going to be okay. As here comes Melnick to pit road. I mean, a couple things that I can point out right now that I could see happening is this. I could see Gregson ending up in the 34 car at front row. I see Priest is the $1 million question. Because you're likely going to see Chase Briscoe in the 21 car next year, if I had to guess there. As AB leads Carrington now after all the pit stops here. Clement Downing, the only one not been to pit road yet. As this should be the part of the race where the sun completely blinds them now in turn 3. Well, he's not going to be worth the money if he doesn't have the equipment to do it in. Again, goes back to that first topic of when you don't have the support of a guy, your owner, because he's busy doing something else. How are you going to do anything? As Rosenberg having issues off turn 4, just past the halfway point. Oh, I got you. Well, I'm sorry to see that, Josh, as always. Carrington running the fastest lap of the race that time by 29:27 as he tries to get away from Bryson here. As he goes past his buddy Craig Martin. I mean, this field's really spread out now. Let's go through the field here and show you where everybody is after the pit stops. Carrington leads, Alex Bryson second there behind him. Colby Wells in third. There he is. There's Kyle Ether. Look at that. You see that Clag over there in turn 4? Yes, I just pulled a Steve Matchett F1 term out. Kyle Ether there fourth. Daniel Giroux is fifth. And let's actually jump on board with Colby Wells down the backstretch here. Look for the sun. Look at that thing. It's a blinding fireball, as Clint Boyer would call it. And we actually have a camera that might be able to see it even better. Let's drive a Colby around here. Show you how to get around Darlington. Front straightaway here. Turn 1 here. You can almost put this left front down on the apron a little bit there. He actually doesn't. Let it drive up there. You want to roll to the throttle in this car. Let it drift to the wall. Double apex back to turn 2. Run that bottom. And there's the sun saying hello to you. It's actually to the right a little bit. It's not too bad. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. Want to brake early and let the car slide up the hill. And you want to try to be as straight as you can off the corner right here, not on the seams. If you get on those seams, it will spin you out so quickly. There you go. Quick lap around Darlington, just like that. 7th place behind Giroux is Stephen Miles. Make that 6th position. Sorry. There's Giroux there in 5th, in case I didn't cover him. Dylan Rosenberg in the 7th position. The Dean Machine there in the Lowe's car running 8th. Craig Martin just went a lap down, 9th position. Hartford Whaler Melnick running in the 10th spot. Dominic Russo running in the 11th position. Aaron Beaver running 12th. Clement Downing 13th. Nick Eurechio 14th. And it looks, oh, and there's the 97 just knocking the wall down with his teammate there to his outside. Chris Lewis took his car behind the wall a few minutes ago. Josh Dillon, if you've got my attention, you got 7 laps. You can go out there and pass Lewis. Once again, what has Ryan Preece driven that has given him a chance to get up there and run at the top? as Miles takes the 6th position. As he catches the back of Giroux right here. This will be for 5th. Giroux's just going to pull over and let him go. That's how you race this track. Let the faster cars go. You race them hard, you two will end up either wrecked or losing a lot of time to the leaders. 50 laps complete, 3.8 seconds right now. The lead from Carrington back to Bryson. I mean, let's go through Priest's career. Obviously, Priest was in terrible cars at the beginning of his career. He gets the year with JTG, or JTD, or whatever team's name is there, that 47 car. He was in the 37. The equipment at that time, and still to this day, is not the best. Then he gets picked up. Well, he goes into a Gibbs car and absolutely shines in the Xfinity Series. And then goes to the Cup Series in a Stewart-Haas car, where Stewart-Haas literally at this point is not even running their best. And how do I know that as proof? Well, look what Kevin Harvick did in the Stewart-Haas car from 2000 and his first year to 2013. Or I'm sorry, 2013. Wow, his first year, which was 2015, I think, or something like that, all the way up to 2023. Notice I didn't say 2022. I'm not going to say 2023. Once 2022 got here, Stewart-Haas did absolutely nothing. Harvick won that 9th race at Bristol in 2021, the year where Elliott won the championship. And after that, I think Harvick won twice. If I remember correctly, won those 2 back-to-back races in the summer of 2022, I think. And then after that, he didn't win a race in 23. The only person that won a race the only person that's won a race in a Stewart-Haas car from the time Harvick won at Bristol in 2021 to now is Chase Briscoe. 1 race at Phoenix. So I cannot vouch that Priest has gotten a fair shot in that car. As battle for 3rd as Colby Wells goes to the inside of Alex Bryson as Rosenberg back to pit road. I mean, you could argue that Ryan Preece was 1 speeding penalty away from winning at Martinsville a couple years ago. I mean, Preece went out there in the clash at the Coliseum, was it last year, about won that race. I mean, he's put himself in spots to win. As in, like, what Priest has done in that car, or what the team think? As Ether gets loose there, trying to chase down Colby Wells. Alex Bryson on pit road. Oh, overshot his pit stall slightly. Going to take 4 tires and fuel here. Should be the final stop for the 38. As he pulls away, 14.5. As Colby Wells blinks down pit road and Giroux on pit road. And Colby's having more blinking issues. And he finally shows back up on the track in 2nd. What in the world? It's like he's blipping out for like literally a half a lap. Try not to do that at the worst time, or else he won't even count a lap for him. Yeah, there he goes out again. As Ethier goes by. Oh, Ether just smashed the wall. Or I'm sorry, Wells did. As Carrington comes to pit road. Listen to these cars almost spinning the tires off the corner. As Ether going to lead himself a lap as Carrington brings the 37 in. Oh, the Xfinity side's been amazing to watch. As Ethier comes to pit road along with Craig Martin. I mean, Custer's done what he does. I mean, he wins in the Xfinity Series. You know, Riley Herbst has been the one that's like, As Craig Martin and I mentioned Kyle Ethier on pit road here. And pulls away. Aaron bringing up the Xfinity stats on me. Hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. See, here. I got to fact check my boy here. Mr. Thomas here. I need you to go look up how many starts Priest made with Gibbs and how many starts Ryan Priest made for Johnny Davis. You're going to see a big difference. Those numbers will make a big difference when you see that. As Miles comes to pit road. Stephen Miles, pit road. Melnick on pit road. The valid point, I will say, that the Barry and Gregson, I can give you that. Yeah, because you got to remember a lot of as Miles pulls away here, and Beaver and Downing on pit road now. So Carrington now at the lead. And he has got 10 seconds on Alex Bryson. I mean, he is just driven away. Kyle Ethier third is 2.4 seconds back. And then Miles is way back, 16 seconds. As this field is so spread out now. Matter of fact, Miles is a lap down. We have 3 cars on the lead lap right now. So yeah, I was starting to say there, you got a point on the Barry Noah Gregson thing. The one thing, I mean, numbers wise, there's a lot there when it comes to drivers. And I've had this debate with others too about different drivers and things like that. There are some stats you have to look at with a grain of salt. And the Xfinity stats for Priest is one of them, because I think he raced a whole entire season for Johnny Davis, which was the same team that Ross Chastain ran for. And you see they run mid-pack, nearly in the back, most of the races. And that's where Priest ran in that car. He got that ride with Joe Gibbs part-time, and look what happened. He went to victory lane. It's just like what Chastain did with Chip Ganassi. Same thing. So the stats, yes, numbers are numbers. As Ether's chasing down Bryson here. But those are more a grain of salt. Ether down to 0.4 of a second. This is a 5-lap difference on tires right here, which means a lot at Darlington. And just like that, Ether goes right by for second. Now for Bryson, he's just got to ride it out. But he's last 11 laps. And the only thing keeping this race from flipping on its lid, as you see, Stephen Miles has gone by Carrington to unlap himself. So now 4 cars on the lead lap. The only thing keeping this race from flipping on its lid is a caution. And I'm just going to point something out right here. There's been a rivalry that is brewing, and it is as hot as a skillet of fajitas coming from your favorite restaurant, if it's Chili's or wherever. And I just happened to look on the screen. We have Casey Carrington going into turn 3 and 4. And right out here in front of him is the 63 of Dominic Russo. Aaron, hang on. Let's watch this first. I'm going to look up the whole stat there. You better look at what you just wrote there. Russo lets Casey by. So we move on. Eric Almirola never won at Darlington. It was Eric Jones in the 43 car, which of course is a petty car. You're thinking when Almirola maybe won at Daytona, or the only race that Almirola won a Stewart-Haas car was at New Hampshire. And in that race, I think every Stewart-Haas car was like fast as all get out. And I forgot about that race, actually. That was in 22, I think, also. I forgot all about the Almirola one. That's a fair stat right there. 7 laps to go for Carrington. That day, if I remember correctly, like every Stewart-Haas car was fast that race. If I remember, Almirola came on in the long run at the end. If I remember, Harvick ran well at the end of that race too. There was a few of them, I think, up front. But there was something, because that was the year that Chase won at Phoenix. I think that was the year where it seemed like the Fords were just untouchable on flat tracks, if I remember correctly. But, yeah, I mean, there are valid points you made about Preece. But I don't know if I can see him getting a valid Cup ride again, unfortunately. Though we're going to see drivers come up or stay in the series that you could probably argue that Preece will deserve a ride more than. This is actually a battle for position right here. Russo trying to catch Aaron Beaver for a top 10 spot with 5 laps to go. In fairness to that 43 call, you put Eric Jones at Darlington. There's a couple tracks you get Eric Jones in, doesn't matter what the car is, and he'll get you a top 10, if not a win, as you saw in that 43 car a couple of seasons ago. You got to remember, like Eric Jones had a rough couple years with Gibbs. But if you remember when Kyle Busch broke his leg, he made his debut at Kansas in Busch's car. He had that thing in the top 5 at one point before he, yeeted himself in turn 4. So 3 laps to go here. Appreciate the talk. That's been fun talking with you guys. Watching, going through chat here on YouTube, whoever's been watching. Appreciate the viewers watching here tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed the race and the broadcast. And in case I haven't proven it to you already, I talk to my viewers. Most of them. Like Casey Carrington, who swapped his number back to the 37. We'll have to check the stats here, but as he gets the white flag, he might be the first driver in this league's history to win a race in 2 different numbered cars in one season. As you go through 3 and 4, as Casey Carrington is going to score the victory in the Lady in Black, Darlington, and adds another win to his column. Unfortunately, not going to be a championship season as he's only running part-time, but Carrington shows the dominance here tonight. Kyle Ethier going to finish second, Alex Bryson third, Stephen Miles fourth, Daniel Giroux, your top 5. Good run for the 92 car. And I think it's thundering outside. Did I just hear that, or is that an airplane? Oh, special weather statement for, what do we got here? I got some weather. What in the world? Oh, they almost didn't touch. That would have been awesome. Oh, they're beating the hell out of each other back there. Very strong thunderstorms on the pack. Wind gusts up to 40.5 inch of hail. Alrighty then. So for sure, Time Racing, another win for them. As we take a look at the final results here, as Carrington wins it by 12 seconds over Kyle Ethier. Alex Bryson finishing third. Stephen Miles fourth. Daniel Giroux fifth. Dylan Rosenberg sixth. Craig Martin, Steve Melnick, Clement Downing, and Aaron Beaver finishing in the top 10. Russo, Eurykio, Wells, Dean, and Lewis, your top 15. And last but not least, he's not least, but the UPS car finished last, driven by Josh Dillon. And we are about to have a group of Polish victory laps. This is interesting. I was wanting to see if Carrington can pull off the Tuckness moonwalk. Hey, wait a minute. Is that violating the contact rule under after the red flag? Anyway. All right, let's talk to our top 3 finishers, starting with AB there in the 3rd position tonight in that 38 car. Alex, obviously, good run again. Another great night of points racing for you as you finished 3rd here. Darlington, obviously a tough effort, but still a good finish.
Yeah, thank you. Excuse me. I really didn't expect myself to finish that well. I know I had, Stephen Miles was really coming on there at the end, and Kyle had a really good car, and of course Casey had a really good car as well. Um, Colby dropped out there, so I kind of, in my mind, finished outside the podium, but you'll take what you can get sometimes. Yeah, just a really good race. If I wouldn't have drove turn 3 like turn 1 and sent it, I wouldn't have had wheel damage. And I don't know if I would have gave Kyle a run for his money, but I think I would have been a heck of a lot closer to Kyle, and I definitely wouldn't have lost probably over 10 seconds as Miles back there in fourth, and he had a really good recovery after his incident. So yeah, just kind of content with it, but kind of surprised. But like you said, just kind of stringing some good stuff together here at the end to finish out strong.
Well, obviously, this track very tough. It's already tough enough to do like a race with one specific weather or the other. Tonight, you had to go out there and run half the race in the daytime in the sun, and then the other half at night. How much difference did that feel?
Oh, definitely. Excuse me again. Just night and day. Literally, no pun intended. Throughout the day it was hot, it was slippery. I think at one point I saw the track 10B 124. So definitely cool down. When the lights turn on, it cool down more. So it's definitely a good mix. I like stuff like that. I like the transition. Um, but yeah, during the daytime, this place is just. I mean, it's greasy, more or less. That's the best way I can put it, in my opinion, in my verbiage. Definitely greasy. Definitely. It gets quicker as the night goes on, and like I said, temps go down. But yes, it's too tough to tame sometimes, and it gets people. But it's a fun track, just not one of my favorite tracks, so to speak. But you know, take it.
Well, great job tonight, man. Send a shout out to whoever you like to.
My wife and kids, especially my wife, letting me take time out of our busy lives to do this every Tuesday and Wednesday night. I gotta thank my teammates, Stephen Miles, Brandon Alfie wasn't here tonight, Chris Lewis, Kyle Ethier, Chris Dean was in there with us, Colby Wells was there as well. My wife's grandmother, my dad, hopefully he's watching, he's probably asleep. I'll ask him if he watched it, and he'll be like, nope, fell asleep. I'm like, damn it, it's rough getting old, isn't it? And who else I gotta thank? Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Gotta thank you, of course. Gotta thank you, greatest broadcaster on YouTube and in iRacing. Um, yeah, that's all I got.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the
Yep.
kind words, and see you next week. Or see you tomorrow
Yep.
night. How about that?
See you
Or
tomorrow night. Yeah, even
whatever.
better.
All right, buddy. Be
Yeah.
safe.
Like,
That is AB, of course, finishing in the third position. Appreciate his kind words as always. Second place finisher tonight, the Dale Jr. Ralph Earnhardt Metrolina car, if you will. The Budweiser Mobile finishing in the second position, driven by Kyle Ethier. Kyle, great job here tonight. Obviously, backing up that pole with a second place finish, and obviously, yeah, good race, I guess, for you in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I think me and Casey probably had that right strategy, taking the tires on what wound up being the last caution. That's kind of what got us out there. What happened to me was I had to pass everybody because I was speeding on that at a pit stop, so I got caught probably about 10 cars behind Casey, and once he got out about 5 6 seconds, once I got clear of everybody, I was trying to I was overdriving it a little, trying to get back to him, but I'll still take the second. It was a good run. And I know that 8 car looks sexy out there for this Goodyear 400.
Yeah, it did. It's you did your part tonight. Obviously, I know it was tough racing a track like this. We were just talking to Alex about the difference in the day and night. Obviously, nighttime bringing more grip out there on the track, but obviously the strategies there with the fuel mileage. Was this something you had thought about that said, hey, if we get a caution by this point, I could take tires from here on out, or was it one of those? It was kind of instinct.
Well, it was one of those where if a caution had come out within the final 15 laps, I think me and Casey had no sets in the pits. So we were dead in the water if we got a late yellow. That was kind of I believe Bryson had a set, Miles had a set, all those guys had a set. So we were betting on no cautions, and finally it came true. So it worked out pretty well. Pretty clean race tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I had only the two cautions there early in the race, and it's kind of the same at Bristol last week, if I remember correctly. But great job tonight. Congratulations. Send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, shout out to you for putting on this great broadcast, and shout out to Mr. Lewis putting on this league. Shout out to my teammates, the guys at TI. Shout out to Casey on the win, and shout out to well, I wasn't gonna do it, but shout out to Baby Lewis, man. Big shout out to him. I know he's gonna be driving someday, and I just want to say, don't drive like your father.
That's so wrong. Oh man.
I love Chris. If he's watching this, I love you, Mr. Lewis.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and go celebrate the second place finish if you want.
Thank you, Mr. Scala. I think I will.
Hey,
I think
glad
I will.
I'm glad I can help you, Mr. Ether.
I think I'll have a, or did I call? What did I call you? What did I just call you?
I don't know.
Did I
You
say
said
Scala?
Mr. Scala, so I just went with Mr.
Okay.
back.
Okay. Thought I called you Lewis for a second. The dueling Chris's get me sometimes.
I will not. I will not let you insult Lewis like that.
Oh.
Good job, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. As Ether finishes in the second position here tonight behind the winner, who also is the Season 10 champion, who I think something weird tells me that you tonight ran this race like somebody pissed you off.
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, I knew all season I was going to win this race, so I know it sounds cocky, but I mean, you now seen me win Darlington races by over 10 seconds twice on the Captain Esports Network, so I know it's one of those things. If I don't make too bad of a mistake, I made some there on the restarts, but you know, if everything goes to plan, then typically I win. I'm kind of like it's a Verstappen kind of thing here with me in this track.
Well, no, if it was Verstappen, then you'd be doing it all the tracks.
Well, I'd say this
maybe
track,
it's Eric Jones-ish?
I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Well, either
I
way,
like the Verstappen comparison better.
yeah, well, obviously for reasons, but yeah, obviously a lot of curveballs there. Had the cautions early, and the pit strategies and stuff. I mean, obviously knowing, I guess a little earlier in the afternoon that was 80 laps, kind of helped probably put something together strategy wise for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think that really just came down to managing the pit in and pit out best. I mean, I don't know the lane that they were taking because I didn't get the chance to look. You're so busy wheeling the car through the corners, you can't really use the mirrors here, other than down the straightaways. But that's usually been one of my strengths at Darlington is just I send it into turn 3 right at the wall, and I think a lot of people try to do it like real life and pit off the apron in turn 3, and that just
Very hard to do.
yeah, it's very hard to be consistent. I mean, if you aim it straight at the inside wall and then just tug it all the way around, you won't, like I think you said in the broadcast one time, you'll never overshoot the pin in if you do it that way. So it's kind of like the centripetal circuit or whatever, where you know that as long as you follow that radius of the inside wall, that you're gonna make it around the corner. It's easy to
Well,
kinda
yeah,
guide
I
you
mean
around.
it's kind of a common sense thing because it's like you're on a track that is so wide and you're going around the apron and the wall is still so far down. It's farther to the inside than people think. So it's almost like the only way to make it there is just run the inside wall and just go around and you can't miss it.
Yeah, I don't think I could consistently get the pit in if I did it off of a turn 3 like they do in real life. But
Right.
who knows? Maybe some Ross Chastain type will try pitting like that in September and make it work.
What do you mean sliding, usually literally sticking to the inside wall? No.
Yeah.
So, well, great job tonight. Send some shouts whoever you like to.
Shout out to you for doing the broadcast, man. This is, I guess, the last time I'll be on the Captain Esports Network till August. It's my last week race until August, so that's a good way to go off into the summer. Shout out to my team: Stephen Melnick, Josh Dillon, Craig Martin, Daniel Giroux. I don't know how long I would have stuck around in the TI had I not gotten picked up by those guys. And that really just came down to Craig wanting me to hop in and race with them. So shout out to those guys. I've been so glad to be able to get wins and a championship for them. Shout out to Miles and Alphin and Bryson and even Colby raced me really well this season. And shout out to those guys and Ethier and all them for always racing me clean. This will be probably my last start in TI. So I'm glad to go out with a win. And shout out to everybody that watched tonight.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations and nice celebration, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. One last tidbit too. I don't know. It's probably obvious listening to me, but I've been sick this week, so it was kind of questionable if I was even going to race until about 10 minutes before. And I hopped in and was like, hey, what kind of lap time is everybody running? And I think they were like 2/10 slower than me in my little private session. So I was like, all right, I guess I haven't lost my driving ability. I'll hop in and race. But I wouldn't call it the Jordan Flu game. I'd call it more like the Allison race or something. I was pretty beat up, but hopefully I'll be better by August.
There you go.
God,
man.
I hope so.
Well, feel better. So, feel better. So,
Yeah, thank you.
all right, man. Casey Carrington, the winner here tonight at the Darlington Raceway. Congratulations to him. And I think it's time for me to go sign off because, well, it's about to rain. Anyways, let's get out of here. Congratulations, Casey Carrington, on the win. Thank you, Lewis, and everybody for, of course, watching on the stream. And appreciate everybody hanging out and putting on a good race, as always, tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow night for some more league racing. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening as Thunder. As, yeah, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation